Meat, fire, and a grill. Don't get no better than that. But my mother always told me, Kent, you better have them vegetables along with it. So we're throwing it all on a skewer and throwing it on the fire. Hey, thank y'all for stopping by the barn. And what is it? The 4th of July episode. Oh, we are so proud. We tip our hat here to Old Glory. It is a great day. It is. Before we go any further, let's talk about what? Giving this a like and be sure and share them videos. It helps our channel grow. It does. But without further ado, let's get to the star of the show. And what are we using today? A big 1.25" ribeye. Yes. A lot of stuff you see on the Google and everywhere else for recipes talks about marinating a piece of steak when you're going to make a kebab. Well, folks, when you start with a really tender cut of meat, you don't need to do this. You don't have to have the marination process to where you're slowing things down. I'm hungry. I want to eat. You want to make sure that when you cut the pieces of meat up that you're going to put on this skewer, they're all the same size, because you don't want one big honking piece of meat and one little bitty one down here. This one's not going to be done and this other one's going to be burnt to a crisp. So uniformity is a necessity. It is, and that's a lot of words for me to put out at one time. Now we're going to do this just like we always do a steak. We're going to use lime juice, and you're thinking, margarita. I like a margarita. No, but I do like one. But what does lime juice do? The acidity in there breaks down connective tissue in the muscle, which is going to be a natural tenderizer, and you're not going to even taste the lime. But when we do that and we season it, then we're going to put this in a vacuum seal bag, and it's going to let that seasoning even penetrate in there deeper. And we're not going to leave it long. About 30 minutes is all it takes. Now, speaking of vacuum sealers, if you didn't maybe see it, recently we had a video come out, sous vide, to where we submerged the steaks in water in a vacuum sealed bag. But if you don't have a vacuum sealer, we had a feller comment to us that you could put the steak in a baggie, and as you lower it down in the water real slow, the air is going to come out to the top, seal it, you're ready to go. But let's talk about ribeyes. Ribeye is going to be tender, but if you're using like a sirloin, maybe, what would be next? I don't even know what's after a sirloin. But if you're using a sirloin cap, bottom round, top round, let's go ahead and let's maybe make a marinade to break this down to let it sit. But even when you do, go ahead and put that in that vacuum seal bag, because it's going to just help it become a more tender piece of meat. You know, sometimes you can leave these little pieces on here, but a lot of times they want to just come right off, and then you have this guy, his name is Beagle, and he loves a bite. And okay, I'll just tell you what we're going to do right now. We'll just go ahead and get this taste sampling over with. There is the Dukers. Where is the Mage? There he is. Hi, Mage, get over here. There you go, buddy. Everybody tested the beef. So we're in the garden, because my mother told me you have to have your veggies, Kent. Well, if I'm going to have veggies, they're going to be fresh. So if we're talking kebabs, we need some peppers, maybe some squash of 2 kinds. Come on over here and let's see what we can find. We'll go to the jalapeno factory first. That's what yeah, he gonna be just right. So let's go over here to the zucchini aisle and see what we can find, because I do need, oh, there is a good one. There's 2 in here. I don't know which one to pick, so we'll pick this one.
Where?
He's a slippery little rascal. Yeah. Now you can see this. He's a little fella. Now, for a long time, we didn't see a whole lot of them, but I have like 8 that live out here in the garden. They're my buddies, and you can see they're sort of spiny. But no, Duker, you look here. I'll let y'all see. See, it's a little horny toad. See there? No, you don't. You don't eat a you don't eat a horny toad. Now see, they'll play possum. They'll get really flat and they'll just lay there. So we're gonna put him over here hiding back in the tater vines. I do love me some yellow squash, and I'll tell you right now, 2 squash vines will feed half the county if you get them watered and get them in there right. And so we are what you call ready to go. We have all the ammunition, a zucchinis, yeller, and a hot jalapeno. Garden fresh veggies they are. Now what veggies are we using today? Remember, the yellow squash and the zucchini, jalapenos, purple onion, white onion, and a yellow onion. Then we go to the pepper family, red, yellow, and orange. So when you go to cutting them squash, we're just going to cut them down the middle, and then we're going to slice them into chunks that are pretty the same size. Now, you feel of these, they're pretty soft compared to these, which are a little tougher, and even the onion. But we're going to slice all these other veggies pretty thin to where they have the same cook time as our meat and our squash. Now, folks, you see this pineapple sitting here, and I have used it with beef, but I prefer it to use with pork. I think it really pairs well with that, but if you want to, you go ahead, or you just go ahead and grill them by yourself. Put them on there. Hey, they are good to go. They are good to eat. This is called a skewer. Now, it is able to pierce meat, vegetables, and all, and hold it in a straight line without it falling apart nor getting off the grill to where it is in beagle height that he can reach it. Now, many years ago, they say the origin of this was made by the Turkish soldiers who would maybe go hunting, but then they'd build a fire and place the meat on their swords and then just lay it over the fire. Shish kebab, yeah. So we're going to assemble this, and when you're using a skewer, yes, skewer, yeah. They are these kind, which are stainless, and they are the wooden kind. If you have the wooden kind, please soak them for at least about 2 hours, because you don't want them burning up in there and everything falling apart, so make sure. A tip that I'll give you is never really overcrowd to where you have something that's going to try to fall off the edge, like when you turn this over. Well, our ribeye has set 30 minutes in the vacuum seal bag it has, so let's cut them out. We have all this fine stuff to arrange on here. Color coordination is probably not one of the Cowboy's stronger suits, but we're going to put the jalapeno on here first and put him plumb down here to the end. Now, I really think that you should have a piece of meat next and just go ahead and place him on there. Now, I don't want him to really touch this pepper because we want to be able to get that char and that good cook right there. So make sure that you space them out accordingly. Now, this is what you would call his shield. Now, that is a helmet for a ribeye, a white onion. Well, you see me season them really well, both sides with some more of that original. Sure, we had already seasoned the meat, but them veggies needed some of that on them as well. Now we come over here, we filled our little hardwood lump basket in this good hasty bake grill up with Fogo hardwood lump charcoal. Now, if some of y'all hadn't used hardwood lump, hey, it's just like wood because it is wood. It burns so much better than a briquette. Don't be putting that stuff in there. Let it get good and hot. We're going to go ahead and preheat that grill to about 300 or 400 degrees to make sure that everything is clean and slicked off. We have all our coals on this end of the grill. That is what we call direct heat. We're indirect here. We're going to be running on this end probably close to about 240 to 250 because we're going to shut the air off of it a little. We're getting flavor from smoke and everything, so you can actually stack these if we have to. Let them veggies go ahead and get tender and get us some smoke. Big, does it meet your approval? You think it does? Let's shut that lid. Now, over here on the indirect side, we're going to probably let this go about probably 15 minutes, and then we're going to flip all that over to where everybody gets equal amount of time. Then, because we're starting out, folks, that fire is way down here at the bottom of this. Yes, it is. When we get ready to put them back over here on the direct side of the fire, we're going to crank that heat up pretty close to the top so we can get that good char. I've got some cherry wood down here I'm going to add to that. You can add whatever wood you would like. I like a fruit wood with this, but if we're starting out with oak, go back with a mesquite, maybe a little fruit wood, mix it up. Well, 15 minutes on one side. You seen me flip them over. We have been another 15. Let's take a look in here. Oh, ain't they looking pretty? Now, I can guarantee you already before I touch any of them vegetables, they have got tender because look, we have a shriveling effect here on the jalapenos, and you can sort of see everything is going to be tender. That's what we're after. Now, we got the fire still where it was, but we're going to crank this rascal up to where it is really close, if I can go the right direction, because we're just going to put them over, give them a good searing on both sides. Take them back over here to this side so you don't have to do them all at one time, and we'll be good to go. We're probably going to do about 30 seconds each side with that flame licking it like that, so it won't take it long. Then we'll just roll them over. Here's a casualty here. Oh, he done fell in the fire. It ain't going to take long to get the right color on that meat. You can see how we done got a little bit of char on there. That's what I'm after. Not long at all. But folks, that Hasty Bake did a great job, it did. I use it a lot, whether I'm grilling or smoking. This thing is easy to regulate. And don't forget to look down there below, there's a little 10% off deal that you can get to get you a Hasty Bake. So we're gonna get one of these.
Let me guess, are you starting with meat?
And then I'm gonna layer one of these jalapenos on there.
Okay.
And maybe have an onion on there as well. You get just a little crunch of that onion. The taste buds on this side of my mouth are saying to the other side, wished you had a bite, don't you? Something about that ribeye that just gets so tender, and that seasoning just soaks in there so deep in that 30-minute set. Well, had some good loyal subjects out here, and they do approve of a video with beef. They do. Now, Big, he has been with us probably nearly 14 years now, so let's go ahead and give him a bite. And then there's Lulu. And Mage, this is a little bite, but you're a little pup. There you go. Me, I'm gonna have one little bite of this pepper. Oh, so good it is, folks. You won't be sorry you did this recipe, I promise you. Everything that we use today will be listed down there below to where you can find it. Me and Shan and all the pups want to wish y'all a very happy and safe 4th of July. Because, I mean, bring family together, fire up the grill, get them in the backyard, celebrate the great day of freedom. That's what it's about. And on this 4th of July, folks, that we celebrate, a quote from Ronald Reagan comes to mind. If we ever forget that we're one nation under God, we are a nation gone under. Now, folks, that's what it's all about to me and this old flag. I salute all our servicemen and women and all the first responders, the veterans, everybody who has kept us safe all this time. And I ask you, when you see Old Glory, whether you're going down the street or you're not, you stop, you pay homage, you take that hat off, and you be proud that you've done it. Rest y'all come on in here. You know what time it is for the great big hug. It is. God bless you each and every one, and I'll see you down the Tender Kebab Smoke Grill Trail.